There has and always will be a divide between what the front office of a football team thinks and what the fan base thinks. And part of that is because the front office knows things that we don't. Well, the consensus view for the 49ers on how they're going to approach the draft is not totally surprising, but it's most definitely not what history would suggest, nor I think what the 49ers are likely to plan on doing. Surely I can't know anything for certain about the future, but I think the 49ers are about to do something really smart with the number 11 overall pick in the draft, and for some reason, nobody appears to be ready for it. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content, but massive credit to @SFDataNiners, who is a must follow on X, by the way. If you don't follow him, you have any interest in sports analytics, you got to go over there and take care of it ASAP. He does great work. But the polls have closed The polls have closed, the picks are in, and the consensus pick based on 77 different mock drafts up to this point so far for the San Francisco 49ers at 11 is offensive tackle Kelvin Banks. That means that the consensus view, what most people believe is going to happen, is that the 49ers are going to select offensive tackle Kelvin Banks. Now, if you don't like that pick, don't jump ship yet. He was the highest percentage pick, but not far behind him was this guy, Josh Simmons, Ohio State, another offensive tackle. And you can guess where the story is probably going, can't you? Four of the top 6 consensus picks are offensive tackles. Here's the actual percentage breakdown for those of you that have interest in seeing the whole thing. And I'll move myself over to the other side of the screen for a second. Sorry, Dominic Pooney, gotta have to cover you there. But here's what it looks like. And look, I mean, they're just percentages. It's just consensus. So basically it's here are all these mock drafts that everyone's done. And we're going to put it all together and see what people have assumed that the 49ers are going to pick. And the bottom line is this, okay? This is what I want you to get out of this, okay? Everybody's perspective is that the 49ers are going to go pick up an offensive tackle in the first round. And I think history would suggest that's not the case, okay? Now, some of these guys, as you're looking at this list here, which I think is fascinating. I love looking at this stuff. I think it's super interesting, but some of these guys surely would be higher up the list if most mock drafts actually thought they'd be available. So you need to ignore some names on there. Like Mason Graham, for example, he's not going to fall to 11 unless something really bad happens. He gets caught in some really bad situation, then he's not going to fall to 11. And if you're curious who might be available, SFDataNiners also put together this helpful little chart that shows you at pick 11 the percentage likelihood that these guys are going to be available, okay? And this is another version, I guess, if you will, of what overall mock draft data comes together to have, okay? Now, if you look at that right there, so you got Cameron Ward, okay, he's 100% going in the first pick, 60% chance to go in the second pick, 37% chance to go in the third pick, yada, 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 okay? By the time you get down to the 11th pick, we are looking at a 1% chance to get Shedeur Sanders, which we wouldn't take anyways, 5% chance to get Mason Graham, which, that's not exactly odds that you would be excited about, okay? Kelvin Banks there, the 49ers have a 55% chance of him being available at pick 11, okay? Genty, by the way, 80% chance. Tyler Warren, 86% chance. Are the 49ers going to pick up any of those guys? I don't think so. I mean, I will say this. I would actually be more surprised, and this is weird to say this, and I want, comment if you're yep, he's 100% right. Comment if I'm right on this, okay? Because I have watched year after year after year and been okay, go pick up that great offensive tackle. Go pick up that great offensive tackle. And they never do it. The 49ers don't want to pick up an offensive tackle in the first round of the draft. We know that. We have heard the coaching staff talk about that and talk about the value of picking up guys who can score touchdowns, okay? So, Chris Furster said it. If the offensive line coach says it, then you got to believe it, okay? But whatever the case is, I would actually, you can agree with me or not, I actually would be more surprised if the 49ers picked up an offensive tackle in the first round than Genty or Warren. I'd genuinely be more surprised by that. Isn't that kind of crazy? because we clearly have a desperate need for a solid offensive lineman to come in, like a tackle position, to come in, cut their teeth at guard, and take over. And take over when we see one of the greatest left tackles in all of history retire, right? That's exactly how I want to see things play out. I just don't think, that's what I want to see happen from the draft. I don't want it to happen in the first round. So I want to be clear on that. Sorry. My point, though, being that the consensus views that the 49ers are picking up an offensive tackle. These are the guys that are actually going to be available. And I don't know, man. I want to know what you guys think. I would love if you would comment below and tell me, with these guys available, one, do you agree with the consensus view? Do you agree that 4 out of the top six highest percentage consensus views, 4 of the top 6 have the 49ers taking an offensive tackle? Do you agree with that? Are you good with that? Are you happy about that? Because I do believe the 49ers need an offensive tackle. I also believe that what you can get for the defensive line right now in this draft, in the first round, is incredible. We could get monsters. We could get freak athletes. And I would love a great offensive tackle, but I don't know if I would do it at the expense of one of these other dudes, like an edge rusher, a defensive lineman. And I know, like, I keep looking up there and Mason Graham's name shows up and it's the bright yellow Michigan, icon or whatever. And it's hard to not miss it. If he's available, of course, they're going to go that direction. In terms of who's actually available, who are the 49ers going to select? Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. I'm stoked about it, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, whoever the 49ers select, hopefully it is a position of great need. If they do grab an offensive tackle, I'm not going to be devastated. I don't think I'll be devastated. I've been devastated by some moves in the past, but I don't think I'll be devastated if they pick up an offensive tackle. I think I'll just be disappointed and be really interested to see, what are you going to do then in the second and third rounds? How are you going to draft defensive linemen that have immediate impacts? And I suppose some of this also, to be fair, depends on what they do in free agency. If they go out there and they somehow make something happen for Myles Garrett, not going to happen. But if they did, then I would be 100% on board of let's draft an offensive tackle. Let's not waste our first round draft pick on one of these other guys. I'd be fine with that because you just did all of that work to get to have two of the best edge rushers in all of football. So whatever, like, that's where I'm at. As always, appreciate your opinion, appreciate your view. I'm actually recording this right now from Colorado, and by the time this video is posted, I'll be in Florida enjoying the beautiful summer sun. At least that's what the weather forecast says, so it should be really nice, and some well-desired family time. I guess that's what I'm going for. But appreciate you guys so much. Thanks so much. I'll have to do some videos from Florida too, so you get a chance to I don't know, talk about the most latest news, I suppose. That's what we do here. And appreciate you, and I look forward to joining you in the comments. Thanks.